Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion today. Just a reminder that the very foundation for Minecraft and all of our conversations is learning to become the boss of your brain in order to live your best life. This is about thoughts come first, followed by feelings, and then actions or behavior last. Okay, my name is Kimberly Quinn. I forgot if I said that already. Anyway, I'm out in the woods just loving life. Anyway, my name is Kimberly Quinn, third time maybe. And I'm here to have a conversation with you today on the importance of connection. And it sounds so, this is just, cheesy. No, it isn't. Because literally, people are dying because of the lack of connection. Especially with the most recent tragedy at Robb Elementary School in Texas. And it's not the whole thing isn't about that. I actually already did a podcast on that. In general, this is probably the biggest detriment to our society right now, is that we are so incredibly disconnected. And in the absence of connection, there is always suffering, always. And it's just obviously, complicated. We had a pandemic. We were already disconnected before the coronavirus, and now we're even more disconnected because of all the isolation that happened, and kids learning through screens and things like that. And in fact, speaking of screens, one of the biggest reasons we are so disconnected is that we're so hooked in. I was going to say addiction, and many people are addicted, though not everybody. So we'll just say we are so hooked into social media. And though there are some positives, obviously I love making videos. I love making videos because I feel that it's my mission in this life, at least one of them, to help people see their own value. That's what I want to say. To help people see their own value, and also to just spread positivity everywhere as much as possible. And now this enables me to do that and touch more people in this way. So there are some positives, though honestly there really aren't that many. And we can reach people overseas, loved ones. Our daughter's boyfriend is currently stationed over excuse me, bugs. I'm trying not to eat one today though. Currently stationed in the military overseas, and that's a way for her, them to communicate. So there's some positives, but mostly it's bad. It's really bad. And teenagers, on average, in case you don't know this, average teenager, or teenager's average time spent on the screen, not counting school or any sort of work, is an average of between 8 and 9 hours per day, right? So 63 hours a week. That's one full-time job plus a part-time job, with no days off, benefits, 401ks, nothing. So imagine 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours of stuff going in their heads, in the isolation, because, just texting and chatting, by text is not the same thing as face-to-face. It just is not. And I remember I made a joke to a friend of ours a long time ago. He was talking about his online video games and all this stuff and how they talk, and I also hear from my students because we're a big gaming school. And my response was, because they kept calling them their friends, like they're leading these pursuits across mountains, and they're joined the teams, and they're doing all this stuff online. And I guess the cool thing is it can be international. That's kind of neat. But in reality, if there's a power outage, there goes your friends. And I guess I use the term friend. That has a deeper definition to me, but that's just my own thing. But really, it's not the same thing. Good old-fashioned face-to-face is what we are missing. We are skin-starved from hugs and everything else because we were told not to touch for 2 years, and we are so hooked into these screens. And here's the thing, with the learning through them and everything, mirror neurons, which are located in the motor cortex, have the job of teaching us through mimicry, right? So kids learn by, help daddy do the dishes and stuff, and put the forks in here. That's mirror neurons tell us, what to do by watching other people. It's how little kids learn. It's also, here's the thing, the most important thing about mirror neurons is, in addition to the learning, the mimicry thing, is that this is how we learn empathy. We learn empathy, and also the reading of faces, all of it. We learn empathy through our mirror neurons. So, in my opinion, we haven't even begun to know what the damage is from the Rona, and we won't know. We know some of it now, but we won't really know for a decade at least, or maybe even 2, because mirror neurons don't work through a screen, not very well. And that's been, even before the virus, that was, I've read all kinds of articles about learning, through screens and things. Though it's better than nothing, and people are doing the best they could. Not saying that. Obviously, we're all doing the best we could. The reality is that kids are behind, for one, because of it, because little kids can't learn through that. And again, mirror neurons don't work the same. So any sort of online learning is not going to be, I'm not saying it's not valuable, okay, especially since I'm out of college. Of course it's valuable. More valuable for seasoned adults who their prefrontal cortices are already developed, because we're not still developing, and we're also self-driven. The maturity is different, obviously. But for small kids and teenagers, and which includes obviously middle school and high school, it's just a tough way to go. And the emphasis on did the best we could, though not the same as face to face. And worse, we can catch up with the academics eventually. Socially, so detrimental. I mean, these kids need. We all need connection. We're all wired for it. But the kids missing their proms, the sports, everything, I think we're just not going to see the full thing of that for a while. So bringing that back into into the now, we need connection. We've got to get back this face to face. We've got to talk. We've got to touch. We've got to have fun. For 2 years we also forgot to have fun. Fun is essential for well-being. And I'll tell you, I was reminded of this yesterday. I love to have fun. Or maybe what inspired me is yesterday I went with my bestie from St. Mike's, and we just puttered. We went to the Christmas tree shop and got some stuff, because both of our sons are getting married in the same kind of wedding season, and we're each other's godmothers to our firstborn sons. It was so much fun, and we just had burgers, and we sat outside, and it was just the connection we both talked about when we got back. We hugged for over and over and over, and just, oh my God, it was so life-giving. She said life-giving, I said life-giving. Those are the words we use, because we need that. And actually gave me a emotional lift, and neither one of us, I don't think we're down, but wow, did it lift us up. And also, it's also visceral. You just we feel better when we're connected. And in the absence of connection is suffering. Because no matter what anybody says, well, I'm a lone wolf, I'm introverted, all that can be true. But maybe you need less connection than somebody who's explosively extroverted. But we still all need connection. And there will be suffering without it. It's just how it is. There will be suffering without it. And if we look at, I said the 9 hour, okay, so that's 63 hours a week. Your average teenager is disconnected, right? If we think about the loneliness thing in the United States has been actually elevated to an epidemic. It's up there with heart disease and smoking and all these other things, and obesity as a leading cause of death. Loneliness kills, literally. And if we look at this in a bigger, broader sense with the recent massacre in Texas, there is no way that young man was genuinely connected. In the absence of this, there is suffering. A lot of bugs, sorry. There is suffering. And because we tend to not be able to just hold on to our own pain, it leaks out of us, that pain then affects other people, and it can be a very big level. I'm telling you, I love my country very much. We got some big stuff to do because we are wounded, especially in this area of genuine connection. We've got a big loneliness thing, and we got to get on this. We got to get on this stuff. And realize that the disconnection is the source of the suffering that's going on, mainly. It gets complicated, but mainly. And if we think about the massive medication going on, and hear me say, disclaimer, I'm not saying that medication is not important and essential sometimes to treat mental illness. I'm absolutely, totally on board with that. And that said, I think we are over-medicated. And this is also the reason. Disconnection and loneliness. Because I think there would be a lot less medication. Again, I'm not saying it's not needed. It absolutely is. I think it would, though, be less of a first stop go-to if we had a lot more genuine love and connection out there. It's just true. Then we get into the shame. That's been an episode for another time, because with the loneliness, there's a lot of shame, that not feeling enough, feelings of being flawed and defective, and Here's the thing, is shame does not stand a chance. Does not stand a chance. All that toxicity about the ways we don't measure up and you know, like we've got holes in our soul or something, like all those things that just, the demons that just eat at us, of all the ways that we're just not good enough. That's all shame, right? Shame, guilt says I made a mistake, shame says I am the mistake. All those ways that we feel like we are the mistake. It's shame, and shame does not stand a chance against genuine love and compassion. And to have this, we've got to have connection. So the connection, the love and the empathy, right, is what is sort of the anti-venom, for lack of a better word, right? The anti-venom for the bite of disconnect and loneliness. All right, that's it. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful and buggy Notch at Northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.